this thing work? Yeah. Cool. Right, so in the next 30 minutes, I have a task, I have a goal to explain to you people what is warehouse management. There's about 150 people here, and every one of you actually work in a warehouse and manage one, so it's going to be tough. So what is warehouse management system? When do you need to use one? And I also need to make sure that nobody dies from boredom during this presentation. So, help people sell better and save lives. Okay, warehouse management. Okay, so warehouse management is all about knowing where stuff is, and that's about it. So I've got 29 minutes to fill. Okay, so when do you need to use one? Well, pretty simple. If you know where your stuff is in a warehouse, you already have a good warehouse management system. Well done. Or you don't need one. If you don't particularly care about where stuff is, again, you don't need to use one. However, if it's a bit of a pain for you, if you keep losing stuff or it's too much, or you simply have a simple test, you just walk into your warehouse and go, oh boy. Yeah, that's the right place and the right time to be in this talk. Congratulations, you made it. Okay, so I forgot to do something. I forgot to say about that slide do. So if you want to ask me questions, yeah, slido.com, and then you enter the code, LA19. Interesting one, because I don't have any slides for you today. So, okay, you can go in there and post some questions, and maybe if we have enough time at the end, then I'll be able to answer. Cool. So, warehouse management. As warehouses go, basically I tend to kind of split them up into 3 different states. Throughout the life of a business or throughout the growth of a business, they go through 3 different states. And I call those states don't care, somewhat care, and care very much about where stuff is in a warehouse. So to help me to go through every single state of warehouse management and what it looks like, I'm going to employ this little map. Now, in presentations like this, we tend to give them names. Dave or Steve, but we're not going to do that because of what's going to happen to this guy at the end. So stay tuned. So the first state, we don't care, and this is quite typical for a small business that's just starting out. They really don't care how their warehouse operates. They just use it to store stuff and ship stuff from there, just constantly focusing on actually selling to stay afloat and basically growing. And that's very, very normal, and I'm sure that every one of you kind of went through this phase. And that's basically, we just get products in our warehouse, and effectively just dump them just about anywhere. So we get products in, particularly inventory, and to add new inventory, we simply increase the stock level. And we literally just put it anywhere it goes. We might have some general vicinity where we want to, for example, green blocks to go, for example, bottom left corner of our warehouse. But generally, in terms of defining where things are supposed to be kept and how they flow through the warehouse, that's about it. Okay, and that's absolutely fine, and it's very flexible, and sort of, in a small warehouse it really works. But then after a while, as your business grows, you kind of end up with a little bit of a mess. So you've got a lot of products being added, and you want to bring more and more and more, because you want to sell more, and then you end up with something like this. See a lot of you recognize your warehouse in there, right? So, let's go to the next state of the warehouse, next stage, which is where we want to, well, we're starting to care about actually organization of our warehouse. So this is where we actually want to track stock, where it is, and we also want to keep products in multiple locations. Okay, so let's go and clear up our warehouse. In my case, I use a magic wand. That's a magic wand, that's not a lightsaber. Yeah, but you might need to use a bulldozer. So the next thing, the very first thing to do to kind of get a little bit more organized is to introduce so-called batching. So instead of just dumping stock in your warehouse by increasing the stock level for a particular SKU, we need to book stock in a particular manner. And the way we do this is basically whenever we get new inventory for a product, we assign it a batch number. So for example, batch number 1. And then after that, we can take it into our warehouse, and actually put it in a particular place. Ideally, record where we actually put it. The next time we get exactly the same product for the inventory, we simply assign a new batch number, so batch number 2. Therefore, effectively, increasing the batch number for every single batch that we got for the same product. And then we record where we put that batch. Okay? So we kind of now, with a simple sort of manipulation, a simple configuration, we now know where stuff is, and we can actually keep the same product in multiple locations, and we also record where that stock is in our warehouse. Incidentally, we also achieved another cool thing that may be very useful to some of you. It's called first in, first out. So we want to ship the oldest stock first. So obviously, because we know that there's a batch number 1, which is lower number than batch number 2, that's the one that we need to ship. Okay, and looks like we achieved what we were looking for. We know where stuff is. We can operate as first in, first out, but we're not quite there yet. This setup is still a bit too flexible. The trouble with this is that anybody can just come over and dump inventory just about anywhere again. And they're very free to just move things around and split up the batches. And then obviously when it comes to first in, first out, if you don't have a very constrained system, what happens is first found, first out. Okay? So we want to operate as a first in, first out, so we need a lot more constraints. So the state number 3 comes into play. There's a little bit of configuration and a little bit of planning that needs to happen before you have a warehouse management system. The very first thing that we need to do is we need to think about the layout, the definition of our warehouse, what we want to happen in a warehouse, in which order. To do that, we go and define our warehouse. We call this warehouse definition. So we go and allocate specific areas in our warehouse for specific purposes. So we have, for example, pick-in location. So this is an easy access area where we pick from. We have a put-away location. So this is right next to the goods in. So when products arrive, we take the products and then we actually put them in a put-away location. We have storage. This is a little bit more, this is the area that is a little bit more difficult to access on a day-to-day basis. And then we also have deep storage. And this is where stuff that we store some overstock, out of season products, and so on. So quite difficult areas to go to. Okay? And obviously we have dispatch, which is just an area where we normally bring products to be shipped out. Now that we have that definition, you can see straight away that we can now implement a kind of logical flow of inventory through your warehouse. Let's see how that actually works. So when you get products, when you get inventory, it normally comes into goods in, and you scan them into the system, warehouse management system, and put them in a put-away location. So once the system knows that there are products in a put-away location, now we need to get warehouse people to actually move it from put-away location to your warehouse. And a good warehouse management system, or to be honest, any warehouse management system, is supposed to tell the people in a warehouse where to move the product from put-away. If it's a fast-moving product, obviously it needs to go in a pick-in location because we need to pick it and ship it. If it's a product that we don't have in pick-in and then it's not such a fast-moving product, maybe we need to split it and put some of it in storage and put some of it in pick-in. And as you add more products, as you add more inventory, the WMS will automatically figure out where those products need to go. Again, some of it to storage, some deep storage, some pick-in, and so on. Obviously, it really helps if you have all your products barcoded. Now, we also have things, for example, out-of-season products or overstocking or something that is very difficult to get from a supplier. And we might want to put this in a deep storage. Now, because WMS knows how fast your products are moving and from where, basically, and what's the demand for the product, it will instruct the warehouse people to actually put it in deep storage. So it kind of makes, more or less makes a decision for your warehouse staff where things need to be moved. Okay, so when it comes to dispatching, shipping your products out of your warehouse, we use digital picking. Now, WMS will allocate orders to a particular stock in a particular location. And in a digital pick, it will tell picker where to go and what product to take off the shelf, specifically which batch, effectively. Now, digital picking also,
It's not mandatory to use digital picking, but very, very helpful because that also keeps our warehouse management system accurate. Okay, and it's super important for WMS to actually know where stuff is and be accurate in real time because, again, it needs to make a decision what needs to be moved where. So, for example, when WMS detects that there's nothing in picking for a fast-moving product, it'll instruct, through the mobile application, it'll instruct the picker or warehouse people to move products from storage to picking. And obviously, if there's a demand coming up for a out-of-season product, it'll instruct the warehouse staff to drop and kill. Let's drop and fill. Got this animation wrong. Okay, drop and fill products from deep storage to, for example, picking or storage. Okay, so with a little bit of planning, configuration, and health and safety in mind, we can effectively build in an intelligent warehouse management system without being too technical about it, and optimize the warehouse for storage or for picking. And, well, obviously, the most important thing is we now know where stuff is in a warehouse at any given point in time. Okay, so next, what I want to do is I want to do something super dangerous, okay, that I haven't done since the second Linn Academy. I'm going to do live presentation. So live presentations, I've done thousands of them, and they went right once. So let's hope this is going to be the second time. It's already not going well. My mouse doesn't work. Can we switch to this laptop? Can you also please make my mouse work somehow? There you go. Okay, so as I said, live demonstrations always go wrong. So if anything, it's going to be funny. Okay, so what we're going to do, I've got about 7-10 minutes, something like this. I'm going to actually, deploy. I've got normal Linnworks with no WMS. So I'm going to configure warehouse management system and basically start working with the warehouse management system. So it takes about 7 minutes to do. Yeah, maybe. Okay, so you definitely don't need to get consultants and spend 8 months implementing it. Guys from Rinkit are probably going to kill themselves right now. Okay, so you see my screen, right? Yes, cool. Okay, so this is what I have. Only like 6 products in my inventory in default location, which is not warehouse management location. So I've created a different location called warehouse with WMS. And I have, well, you need warehouse management module in Linnworks enabled before you can do that. But effectively, it's as simple as going into locations, adding new location, and then basically ticking it as it's a warehouse managed location. So once I created this, the very first thing I need to do is to go and define. So that's basically when the guy was walking around and basically casting magic to define where the areas in a warehouse. So let's go and do just that. Warehouse management. Okay, so this is the types of locations that I actually have. And the thing I need is put away. And guess what? We're going to call it put away. I can't type, honestly, but let's not worry about it. Then picking location. Let's call it picking because it is picking location. Let's go to storage and we're going to call it, guess what? Anybody? Anybody? Yeah, storage. And finally, we need deep storage. But tell you what, I'm going to call this deep storage Christmas trees. Because that's where I'm going to keep all my Christmas trees. Because they're not really, I mean, they're moving very fast, but only a particular time of the year. Okay, so I've created types of locations. That's the sort of types of, that's basically the type of things that we're actually going to be doing in a warehouse. Next thing, in the warehouse management, I actually need to go and create locations, and define exactly where that location is, how big it is, how much stuff can actually fit in there, and so on. So let's do that. Give those locations some kind of arbitrary name, and that's a really good idea to go and print out labels with barcodes of those locations so that we can then use a mobile phone scanner to scan where you are. Okay. My put away location, put one is my put away location. Need to give it a volumetric measurement, how much stuff basically fits in there, so in square meters. Some dimensions, okay, and the position, geographical position in your warehouse. That's very useful because it's used for routing somehow. It's clever stuff. We don't want to think about it just yet. Okay. Next, we need another location. We'll call it P1, and that's going to be our picking location. Okay, 1, volumetric 1, and then again dimensions, the position. And let's do the same thing for storage, S1 for example. That's going to be storage. Very exciting, people. You can watch me typing. Very, very useful stuff. This place costs about £300 a minute, and what I'm doing is showing Lego animations to people. I'm gonna get so fired for this. Okay, picking P2. So a whole bunch of locations. That'll do. Okay, so what we have is one put away location, one storage where we can create thousands of them basically if we want to. We've got 2 picking locations. Let's just roll with this for the time being. Okay, so next thing we need to go and configure our warehouse management system a little bit. So the actual location itself. I want to operate as a first in, first out. That changes the behavior of the system. So it automatically creates those batches for us. We don't have to worry about them. We want to tell the system where we actually put in stuff when we arrive when the stock arrives. So we can force the system to always put stuff in a put away. And then also I'm going to do this, which is an order assignment. Whenever we create pick waves, we want the system to only allocate stock from a picking location. Sometimes we want to allocate stock from storage that is easily accessible, but it's still kind of classified as storage. We can create another type and then also tag that as a place where we can actually we can allocate orders to. Okay, in terms of the setup for the WMS, that's about it. So we're pretty much done. So the next thing is to actually operate it. Let's go ahead and book stock in. Now, that's kind of the device that we would normally use for booking stock in. It's just a mobile, it's an Android-based mobile device, costs about £300 from China. Very reliable, not, but cheap. Hey, that's the type of device you want to wear in a warehouse because people will be throwing them around. Anyway, and it's really simple. It just basically has got Linnworks mobile app, and you can access it through, for example, mobile@linnworks.net. Does exactly the same thing. It's geared up for to be sort of compatible with the scanner, and that's the only barcode I could find, and basically just scans stuff and automatically finds the items and so on. But we can't very clearly see on that little screen, so I'm going to use Linnworks Mobile in a browser. Okay, so stock in. And if you're logged in, it'll work, maybe. There you go. Go. Stock in. That didn't happen. That also didn't happen. It's going well. Honestly, it does. It's all in your imagination. Okay, I'm going to scan a barcode, and it comes up with, we need to book some stock in, enter a quantity. It's going to go into put away location. Done, basically. If we go into Linnworks now and see in our warehouse management, we can see that we have created one item. Well, we booked one item. It's currently in the put away location, and we've got 10 of them. So effectively, we need to go and move it. Warehouse people need to move it from put away to picking or storage. Okay, I'm going to go and stock move, find this item, and we're going to go move to a picking location. Let's say we're going to move 5. Okay, done. Let's look at the warehouse management. This is so exciting. I can see people just, people are awake. Good. So we've got 5 in in P1, which is a picking location. 5 still in in a put away. From there, we just need to go and move some stuff into storage. We don't want to keep things in a put away location. There you go, just move some stuff around. So the next thing is to actually simulate what would actually happen with picking. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and create one order. For our green blocks. Just one item, it's enough. Okay, paid. And this is live, people. You should be excited. No, I can't hear you excitement at all. All right. Anyway, so we've got one order. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go and add it to a pick wave. Generate pick wave. Okay. So it automatically determines that I need to go and allocate stock from our picking location, and it'll do that all that magic automatically. Here I can also see that the order has been added into a pick wave. And obviously in the warehouse management, we also reserved stock. Well, the system allocated one item out of 5. And then if we look at what actually happened right now, it's allocated that to this specific order. So what happens with a picker, what they would see is something like this. This is a digital pick wave. They will actually see, and it depends who the pick wave was created for. So for example, myself, I would just see one card. This is, I need to go and pick one item for one order. I'll go in there. It'll tell me exactly where to go, what item to pick. Okay, I'm just going to say, yeah, I've picked it. Done. We'll come to the dispatch station. We can either scan an order, scan an item, and then we simply process it. So from here we can do the shipping labels and do everything that happens at the dispatch station. We process that. Okay, so now if we look back at our warehouse management screen, we've got 4 left, nothing allocated to order because the order has been dispatched. So another useful thing in a warehouse management is stock count. Obviously we need to go and, we need to do stock take and stock count. This is a very confusing bit. So stock take is when you lock down the whole warehouse and you just count everything, which we don't normally want to do because you can't afford to shut down the whole warehouse, not sell anything, and just keep counting. So what we have instead with the technology nowadays, we can forget about the stock take and we can do so-called stock count, which is a kind of different thing, similar but different. We can do rolling stock count. So we can just go around the warehouse, and just keep counting things as we go along. So whenever we have time, warehouse people have time, just tell them to go through the aisle and keep counting things. For example, we can just scan a location. Okay, there's one item in there. I go and find that item. I can scan them if I want to, but I can specify how many I found. There you go. Submit stock count. Done. And you can keep going through the warehouse and keep counting how much you've got. In the end, you will have a discrepancy of some sort, which will tell you how much stuff has been stolen or lost. And so it's quite useful for stock count. This data cannot be edited by people, even with admin rights. It's called basically your discrepancy report, which tells you exactly who counted what, when, and so on. So that's fairly important for warehouse management because it then, using that stock count, will have some sort of confidence in you will kind of build in some confidence in the fact that the stock levels that you have displaying, the stock levels that the warehouse management system thinks there are actually true. So that's it. That's how you set up a warehouse management system. It takes 7 minutes. Actually, take a lot less than I demonstrated what else actually happens within it. Can we switch back to the presentation, please? Is it possible? Magic? Magic. Okay, and there's the clicker. That's the end of my presentation. That's just a little outtakes, things that didn't work when I was making the presentation. Okay, so do we have any questions in Slido?
Yeah, if you want to swap over to Slido.
Cool. Ah, you didn't work. I've worked hard on that thing. Can we go back, please? Come on. Jesus, let's keep watching this. Come on. I've spent. Yeah, it took me 4 days. It's 4,500 pictures have been taken during this thing. And we did kill Dave in the end. Or not Dave. We didn't. We don't call him Dave or Steve or any other name, because yes, they keep rushing. And then we can go to Slido, and I can answer some of your questions. I should have been more interesting. Okay. Not many left. Let's say we can go back to Slido. I'm so proud of this stuff. How long did it take to create an animation? A very long time. It took about a year, or I need a year to recover from that. Yeah, it's about 4 days. Yeah, so there's YouTube videos that show you how to do it. It's good fun, yes. But after that, you don't ever gonna want to play with Lego ever again. I want mobile barcode scanner. What to do? What do you recommend? Will the new WMS work with one? Because I don't want to use camera on my phone to scan. Very good that you don't want to use camera on your phone to scan. Cameras on the phone are there to take selfies, but not actually scan barcodes. So what you do, you go to Amazon and just type something like mobile phone or mobile scanner, and you get lots of options. There is a really good company called Symbol, which is owned by Motorola. Their devices are quite expensive. If you buy something like a racket one, then it's really expensive. But these guys, they don't have a name, but cool thing is, if you buy 3, you can put your own name on there. So they cost, yeah, they cost about $300 or something like this. They actually do work really well until they don't, and when they don't, you just put them in the bin. Not very environmentally friendly, or you can just basically swap the batteries. There's some problems with batteries that we found. But yeah, so they're right, especially for a warehouse. They're going to get destroyed in about a couple of months' time anyway, so just get the cheapest one you can possibly get. Is WMS available across all the price plans? I've been instructed to say, I'm just a developer, I don't know anything about pricing, okay? WMS is more likely going to be available as a module that you add on to Linux. So it's not exactly applicable to a specific plan. We'll be able to add it on. The good news is that one of the mottos that we have, Linux with you, it's not just bullshit that we put on the slides. It actually means something for us. We create a system that kind of stays with you throughout the growth of your business. So we create it so that you can operate on on the first state where you don't care. Then we have like the second state where you do care, but just a little bit. You want to kind of get into the warehouse management, but you don't want a full-blown thing. And we have a functionality called batching, and you can leverage that to implement about 80% of what warehouse management system can do. There's also apps on our app store that have got like mobile functionality as well that will kind of get you even further with that. What we have built into Linworks as a WMS, it's a lot more constrained, a lot more kind of clever, intelligent system that you really want to go to only at sort of certain level. If you really kind of, that's the thing, that's the third stage. This is where you care very much about. So again, we're trying to sort of cater to every sort of size of the business in that landscape. Can you have multiple SKU in one location? Yes, you can. That was easy. Will there be a functionality to add manufacturing components for product so that it can also be managed? Who asked that question? Can we clarify what you mean? You're brave enough to admit you asked the question. Okay. Cool. Could you explain what you mean?
For a product which would have multiple components that go into making it.
Uh-huh.
So it could be a product that needs to be filled, for example. You have the filling on the shelf, and you have the product itself. So you have to combine the two to actually put the product together.
Yeah. So that's actually that's what we call composites. Some other systems call it kits and so on. We've taken our name from manufacturing systems, actually. So composites, it's you basically achieve this with composites, and WMS will cater for that quite naturally. So on things like picking, it will actually show you the parent, but actually you can then define whether you want to just you want to instruct the picker to only pick the parent. So they would then go and have to see. Well, they would. It assumes that you keep all the components in one place. If you don't want to do that, you instruct the pickers to go and pick the actual components from different places to bring them up to the next stage. Again, you can define what that flow actually looks like for you. You can bring them to a stage that is called, I think we even have, I'm not going to look now, but I think we even have one of the locations called manufacturing or the end. No way. Okay. Sorry, I didn't get to answer your questions. I will be by the Linn stand for the rest of the day, and there was also going to be a Q&A session at the end of the day, and I'll be on it, so you can torture me a little bit more. Thank you very much.